This is the 2026 GMC Yukon AT4. Is it a great full-size SUV option? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day. Today I borrowed this Yukon from my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC in Shreveport, Louisiana. If you want to know more, check out the link down in the description of the video. The exterior color is Summit White and it has a Forest Storm with mahogany accents interior. You have a ground clearance or ride height of 7.8 inches. It's four-wheel drive, and you will find 20-inch wheels. Here is the remote. Lock, unlock, remote start. You can open and close the power tailgate. You have your panic button right there, and this button will pop open the rear glass. Not a lot of SUVs in this day and age offer that option. Now, I'm going to hit the button. In fact, we'll go over here to this side, lock the interior, and then we'll hit the button one more time to open everything. To unlock everything, you can see your animated headlights, or should I say daytime running lights. But you can actually turn that off. You can turn it on to where they're static. It just depends on what you want. Now, you will find full LED lighting with your LED fog lights down on the lower portion of the front end right there. LED headlights and LED daytime running lights. We'll have the AT4 badging here on the front end, your GMC logo, and the grille. We're going to find the red recovery hooks and a couple of different finishes here between the silver finish and the gloss black. And as we work our way up, we're going to find that we have our GMC logo, another AT4 badge right here, and everything that you want is going to be found here with your side view mirrors, including turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable. Don't know if you can see it very well, but there is your blind spot monitoring. And we'll go right here, and I'm going to push this button. And when I do that, your side view mirrors will fold in. Now, there's a couple of different ways you can make that happen. There's actually an option in the screen where you can set things up where you lock and unlock the vehicle, and they'll fold and unfold as needed where that is concerned. And you have the power assist steps right here, which, by the way, when you're washing your Yukon, you can set this up to where those are going to stay deployed even when the doors are closed, just to make things a little bit easier. And something I like here, this is passive entry, so you can walk up and lock and unlock all four doors from either the front doors or the rear. It's nice to see that at all four doors, not something we always see on every vehicle. And we'll also find LED lighting here on the rear. LED tail lights, hit the button one more time, and they are animated just like the front lights were. And believe it or not, that is extraordinarily bright, so it will help you out after dark. GMC logo, there's the Yukon and AT4 logos, and a nice clean look here with the rear window. We're going to have the rear window wiper concealed away within the rear roof spoiler. And here on the rear, we finish things off. We didn't talk about the sensors on the front end, but you can see them here on the rear. They're also on the front, and we have our quad tip exhaust. And as mentioned earlier in the video, if we hit this button twice, the rear glass will pop open if you don't want to open the entire tailgate. And that way you can reach in and put things in or pull things out, make it a little bit easier, a little bit more convenient, and then close that back up. Under the hood is the naturally aspirated 6.2 liter V8 that puts out 420 horsepower and 460 pounds-feet of torque. It is mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Let's work our way over here to the interior. We'll take a look at the window sticker so you can see the MPGs, and here they are: 14 city, 18 highway, 16 combined. And ironically, with that 6.2 liter under the hood, you get 6.2 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. If you're curious to know, your gas tank size comes in at 24 gallons. And just to show you, when it comes to towing information, you can find a lot of information you can work with right here as far as being able to figure out different numbers in different situations, depending on how many people are in the vehicle and different things like that. But the max towing capacity is 8,000 pounds, as you can see right here. So it is going to be that exact number. I know some people might tell me it's more, but it's right there on the sticker, so now you know. And as far as opening the power tailgate goes, I'm not touching anything, holding anything. This is how the hands-free tailgate now works. Now, you can open it one way or another, whether you need to open it manually, you can do that, or if you want to use the power function and just come back here and push the button to open it, you can do that too. I'm going to show you later in the video what to do if that feature is not working, or if you want to turn it off, where you want that hands-free function not to work at all. Now, if you happen to be walking past in one direction or the other here, and it starts to beep, just make sure you're walking fast enough and keep walking. It won't open. You will find a spare tire located underneath the rear of the Yukon, and all the tools to change that tire are here within this area underneath the rear floor. I like that the floor will stay up and out of your way when you need to get anything out of here, because obviously you can use this area for storage. You know the towing specs. How about your cargo capacity? 25.5 cubic feet with all of the seats in their upright position, the seat backs. If we lower the rear seats, we're looking at 72.6. We lower all of the seats, we're looking at 122.8 cubic feet. And to lower those seats, all you have to do is hold these buttons down. Now the rear seats are power, so they're going to go all the way down like that. You can also raise them back up with those buttons. These buttons in the front area are for your middle seats. Now you can only lower those seats. They just drop down automatically. You will have to manually put those back up. To put the rear seats back up, we will need to hold the button right there. If you take your finger off like that, see I took my fingers off of the buttons, they stop. So you actually have to hold those down until they're in their upright position. And let's talk about what your second and third row passengers will find. Second row passengers, plenty of room with the armrest right here. It's nice and comfortable. The upper and the lower door bins, the AT4 logo will be on the door sill area right there. And you will also find that you can change the positioning of the second row seats, the middle row seats. You do that with the release right here, so they can move back and forth and increase or decrease cargo, or should I say passenger space, in the third row. And there's going to be a panoramic sunroof. The front portion will tilt and slide open, and there is a power shade that can be drawn back and forth as needed depending on the situation. And you'll notice that it says ×2 right here. Already pulled on that release one time, we pull on it a second time, and that allows us to gain access to the third row. Let's see what your passengers will find back here. A couple of cup holders, and obviously a USB port. And then roof-mounted air conditioning vents. The air is going to be nice and close to the passengers. I like that position, and you'll find that here on both the driver and passenger sides. And what happens if the second row passengers don't let the third row passengers out? Well, depending on who they are and how agile they are, they could use the pass-through right there to get through and get out if they wanted to. There is a manual release. You'd have to pull on that 2 times, or you can push the button right here. Now we're going to push that 1 time, and then we're going to push that button again, and the seat gets up and out of the way. And if you're curious about the panoramic sunroof view from this vantage point, well, there it is. And to keep everybody occupied here in the second and third rows, you have your screens right here that will allow for watching videos and whatever else anybody wants to do. You can connect the HDMIs and do all that good stuff. You can even see vehicle status right here if you want to. So for those who are curious, you can see trip information and fuel range and how fast you're going in case you're curious about that. There's settings here. All kinds of things are here. I'm not going to go through all of that, but just to show you, there is one on the rear of each headrest. We'll find the rear seat pockets, cup holders, and our control center here for the third zone of climate control. Everything that you need is here as far as temperature, fan speed, all of that will be here. And you can see the connectivity. We have a couple of USB options right there, USB ports and the power outlet. And there are fold-down armrests built into these seats. Like for them to be a little bit longer personally, but I don't know. Depending on who's sitting back here, their arm might fit on here perfectly. Mine does not. And how about the sticker price? $93,285. Tell me what you think about that price. You'll find the AT4 logo stitched into the headrests. We have our power adjustable driver and passenger seats with lumbar support, and both are heated and ventilated. You can see that right here. There is the heated functionality with 3 stages, and the same applies for the ventilated seats. Something as of September 19th, 2025, we still need here in Northwest Louisiana. We'll find seat memory right here on the driver's side. Only on the driver's side. At this price point, that should be on the passenger side too, GMC. That's my opinion on the matter. Everything for controlling your power folding side view mirrors and your windows right here, rolling them down and back up. And we also have our lock buttons right there, and you can see some of your safety features that are here and different things you can turn on and off, including the auto stop start if you want to do that, or turn it back on if you want to. There's your power parking brake. Everything for your exterior lighting is here, and then right here, your driving modes. Everything for four-wheel drive as well. You can put that in auto if you want to. Let's see what our driving modes are. Now, we're going to start with normal. Right up there. Let's get on normal. There we go. And then we have sport. You're going to have the accompanying graphics, off-road, and your tow haul mode will also be here. So depending on what you need to use, there it is. Steering wheel mounted controls, everything for the radio right here, heated steering wheel, and I'll show you what that button is shortly. Everything for your adaptive cruise control is right here. You will find that the button right there, if you want to have navigation on your driver's display, you just work your way through until you get to this screen. There's your built-in navigation that you can have on the driver's display if you want, or you can have it on the center screen. Just depends on your situation. Shifter paddles are here for working your way back and forth through the 10-speed automatic transmission. We also have the controls right here for the volume, and over there on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, the controls for going back and forth between whatever you're listening to. If you want to change stations or music, whatever that is you're listening to, you can do that right there. You will also find this model equipped with Super Cruise, which is semi-autonomous driving, and the vehicle will basically drive itself in the right settings, basically on the interstate most of the time. It will handle acceleration, braking, lane changing, all that kind of stuff when it needs to. You can even push the turn signal indicator, turn that on just like that, and it will automatically change lanes and then go back where it needs to. But it senses what's going on. Pretty easy to deal with. In fact, that's what this button right here is for. That is adaptive cruise control. Now, you're going to find out that you have to turn on adaptive cruise control. It's going to give you these messages on the driver's display depending on what you need to do to make all of that work. So depending on what's going on, if it's available, if it's not, depending on where you're driving, you will get all of that information on the screen right there. Pretty easy to deal with. I have tutorials on that. And over here on the left-hand side of the steering wheel, pretty easy to figure out what's there. Your turn signal indicator lever, turn signal stalk as we often call it, front and rear window wiper controls, as you can see. And we'll make our way up to the upper console. Now, one thing to note right here, depending on what's going on, there's a few different things you need to do if your power tailgate is not opening. Make sure it's not set to off. If you want it to open 3/4 of the way, you can do that. If you want it to open all the way, you can move it to max, and that will take care of that. We also have something right here, which if you want more space or you want to gain access to the hidden drawer right here, you can use that button with your center console that you can move back and forth. You can also present the drinks to your passengers back there if you wanted to, if they're too lazy to get them themselves. Here's how you open and close your power shade right here. Like I said, you have that power shade for the sunroof that is drawn into place. Then you have your controls here for your sunroof on the outside. You can see everything else that is up here as far as OnStar and all that good stuff, and the other controls that are located in that area. How about the 16.8-inch touchscreen? There is a lot of real estate here. Do you think it's too much? A lot of people tell me in some vehicles that I've reviewed in the past that had a 9-inch touchscreen that it was too small and antiquated. What do you think about this? You're going to have built-in Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. As you can see, they're grayed out because I don't have anything paired right now, but you can wirelessly pair your smartphone, Google Assistant, the Play Store, trailering, all of that's going to be here. Your cameras that let you see all around the vehicle, including the overhead view. There's our front view. There's our rear view. We can do the same thing, a couple of different views with most options here. Your side view mirror cameras are here. And we also have the view right there. If you need to hook up to a trailer, we also have the views right there. Now, depending on what it is you need to see, you can see things like this. You can have that overhead screen right there. It just depends on what the situation is. And there you go. Pretty easy to deal with. Not a big deal. Auto park assist, you can turn off and on right there. We'll go in just so you can see what's going on with that. You can park in a space. You hit that to make everything start working for you. It's really not that hard It's just something that I've found some people tell me they have to get used to depending on what they are used to. Some people have used that feature, some people have not. Now, one thing I do like here a lot about this Yukon is the fact that while you have some controls via the option right there, here in the center screen, such as adding your universal remotes. So if you're wondering about HomeLink, it's now called the universal remote, and you can add up to 8 remotes. So you don't have any physical buttons anymore. It's all done within the screen, adding the remote, using that feature, all of that's there. Some people will like that and some people won't. And we'll go back here, you can adjust your head-up display. Child safety locks, something that might surprise a lot of people. You also turn those on and off here in the center screen. What do you think about that? Also, your power assist steps. Now remember earlier I mentioned the fact that you have some options here. So if you want to leave those deployed, we do that. That's when they stay out to wash the Yukon, wash your steps, all that kind of stuff. We also can stow those back. If you want to turn them off altogether, you can do that, depending on what your situation is and what you want to do. So just a couple of things you can see right there. We'll go to settings right here. You can see everything that you can change and update and whatever you need to do. There's where you go down here to the bottom. If you ever need to do a system update, there's where that is. And something that so many people ask about, I like to make sure that I cover this, and it's going to be your collision and detection systems, your safety features, driving aids. You're going to have alert type, forward collision avoidance, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, side bicyclist alert, lane change alert, reverse automatic braking, park assist, rear cross traffic braking, and your rear pedestrian alert. Very nice to see what all is here. There's a lot of great features and functionality here that you can search your way through and find whatever it is you need. You do have your built-in maps here, as I talked about earlier. I know I can't show that to you at this second, but just so you can see, there that information is. And I am happy, while you have to use the screen to turn on your heated and ventilated seats, well, you do have physical controls for the air conditioning. And one more thing I did want to go back in here and show you real quick, because I talked about it earlier. How do you set things up so that you can have your power folding side view mirrors fold in when you lock the vehicle and unlock the vehicle and they fold out? Remote mirror folding, that's it right there. Now you can go to on right there if you want to, or you can also just use the check mark right there and turn that on and off. I promised you I'd show you that. I almost forgot. So let's make sure we do show that. A couple of USB ports right here, the wireless charging pad. We will have some piano black or gloss black finish, as some people call it, so don't play the piano on that. That way you avoid the fingerprints. And there are your cup holders. Another AT4 logo here on the nice large lid for the center console that doubles as an armrest. And when we open that area up, there's quite a bit of space within. And speaking of that, we also have right over here our glove box with even more space. You will also find the digital rear view mirror, or the rear view mirror camera as it's often called. You can use that as a conventional rear view mirror if you want to. And there are options here where you can change different things depending on what you want to do. You can also change the height and all that kind of stuff depending on what you need to see. There, all of that is pretty easy to deal with. And one more storage spot, a giant storage spot above the center screen. And you'll notice that I'm showing you there is no sunglass holder in the interior. Kind of an interesting thing. You could technically put your sunglasses in here. Actually, if you had a full load of passengers, everybody's sunglasses would fit in that area with room to spare. And one more thing I wanted to show you about your ride height. You have your magnetic ride control, all that good stuff is here. And when you push this button right here, over here on the right-hand side of the driver's display, here's what comes. And you can rotate the dial to raise or lower the height of the vehicle. We're going to bring that back up and lower the height. You can actually feel that when you're in the vehicle. I know you can't because you're not sitting here, but you can see how that works. One of those features that I know a lot of people might want to know about. Okay, here we go on the test drive with the Yukon. Very enjoyable to drive, obviously very versatile in so many different ways, from family hauler to being able to tow the boat to towing a lot of different things. Tons of space as far as your interior cargo area goes. and tons of space for driver and passengers. And even in the third row, there is a reasonable amount of space back there. So that's always good to know depending on what you need. And you can fold down the third row of seats to help out with some cargo capacity back there and have quite a bit, as the numbers tell you that I gave you earlier in the video. But obviously, you can make a lot of adjustments to help third row passengers to have a reasonable amount of leg space, a lot of head space, a very large interior. The technology here is very easy to learn and use. I like that, although it's different from what we've had the last few years prior to the 2025 model year. But overall, I'd say the Yukon offers a lot. It is a large vehicle, and depending on how you drive, it sucks a decent amount of gas down. If you don't have as heavy of a right foot as some people do, well, obviously that is going to make somewhat of a difference, and depending on who you are and how you drive. Now, we can actually make this turn right here a reasonable turning radius, not the absolute tightest, but you know what? That's not too bad right there to be able to make that turn as easily as I did. Easy to see out of, but you do have so many additional benefits to help out in that area, including your blind spot monitoring to aid in letting you know what's in your blind spot. You also have your rear view camera mirror. That's going to be helpful in that area. An easy to manage brake and gas pedal. One thing I did not mention earlier in the video, I'm pretty sure I forgot to say this, but you also have a tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. It is power adjustable, and when somebody pulls out and they're driving a little under the speed limit, it's very easy to just go ahead and drive right around them right there. Not a big deal at all. But overall, I'd say it's a great vehicle, very versatile, little bit of additional ground clearance compared to other trim levels. Not a lot, very little, but 7.8 inches of ground clearance can be very helpful. One thing that I know a lot of people have asked me about in the past, I showed you how you can deploy the steps earlier in the video, the power assist steps. People ask, can you leave them deployed when you're driving? The answer to that question is no. As soon as you put the Yukon in drive and start to move away, take your foot off the gas or brake pedal and touch the gas pedal, they automatically go back under and are no longer deployed. So just one of those things that I know a lot of people ask about. You also have your head-up display. I didn't show that earlier in the video, but you saw the control where you go into the center screen and adjust that, or should I say the ability to manage it. It's really not a control, but where you can manage the head-up display. It is nice and bright and easy to see, just not so much with my camera. But one way or another, if you're in the market for a full-size SUV, make sure you check out the Yukon in your shopping experience. And there it is, the 2026 GMC Yukon AT4. Is it a great full-size SUV option? Tell me what your thoughts are down in the comment section. I would like to say a special thanks to my friends at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning me this Yukon for the day so I could tell you all about it. And a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give me the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, please hit the like button. That's very helpful to me. Make sure to subscribe and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you would like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the video that's on the screen right now, and I will see you there.